The story of the Tower of Babel is an ancient narrative found in the book of Genesis in the Holy Bible, which explains the origin of the different languages spoken by human beings. The construction of the tower aimed to prevent the dispersion of people and make the tower famous, but God intervened due to dissatisfaction, causing the confusion of languages and the dispersion of humanity. Although the expression does not appear explicitly in the Old Testament, it refers to the Tower of the City of Babel. Babel can be interpreted as watchtower or gate of God, associating it with a place of divine judgment. Welcome, explorers of the past. Today we are going to unravel the mysteries of one of the most fascinating narratives in human history, the Tower of Babel, a fact narrated in chapter 11 of the book of Genesis. Let's travel back in time to ancient Mesopotamia, the land between rivers, where the Tigris and Euphrates meander, irrigating the seeds of lost civilizations. This is the land where myths intertwine with reality, and our stories begin. Imagine yourself walking through the dusty streets of Ur, Babylon, or Uruk, cities that have stood the test of time. Ziggurats, majestic structures that defy the heavens, were not just physical landmarks but pillars that connected mortals to the gods. In this melting pot of cultures, the Mesopotamians were polytheists, believing in a myriad of gods. Their lives were intertwined with rituals, myths, and monumental constructions that sought not just physical grandeur but cosmic connection. Mesopotamia was not just a place, it was a stage for epic stories and daily challenges. Cities were centers of commerce, culture, and, of course, divine intrigue. And it is in this scenario that the Tower of Babel weaves its narrative. Our story of discovery begins in the heart of sacred scripture, in the book of Genesis. Within these ancient pages, a founder emerges who transcends history itself, a vision that reveals the origins of the linguistic diversity that permeates our world. At the epicenter of this biblical account, we find Eden, the primordial paradise where humanity coexisted in harmony. However, the search for wisdom brought with it the fall, and from the flood that followed, Noah and his descendants emerged, bearers of hope and the burden of repopulating the earth. And that's where the narrative takes an intriguing turn. An audacious ambition begins to throb in the hearts of humanity. The Tower of Babel, a colossal structure destined to reach the heavens themselves, becomes the symbol of this inordinate ambition. We contemplate the upward construction of the tower, not just as an architectural work, but as a direct challenge to the divine will. A united people, a common language, and the audacity to touch the heavens. This Genesis narrative is not just a report, it is a dive into the depths of the human psyche, where ambition defies even heavenly orders. And then, God, watching from above, decides to intervene. The confusion of languages becomes divine punishment, a linguistic metamorphosis that transforms unity into diversity. The words that once united now become barriers, and the Tower of Babel, in its arrogance, is abruptly interrupted. The dispersal begins, and the fragments of the tower are left as testimony to the human pride that defied the divine. Mythology intertwines with history, and the Tower of Babel, far from being just an unfinished building, becomes the incarnation of an eternal lesson about the limits of human ambition. Our journey into the founding vision of the Tower of Babel takes us to explore not just physical constructs, but the very essence of the human condition, where the longing for grandeur collides with the divine forces that shape our destiny. We now enter the epicenter of history, where the city of Babel emerges from the ashes of divine interruption. Founded by Nimrod, one of Noah's descendants, the city directly defies God's order to disperse after the flood. Nimrod, known as a powerful hunter, decides to unite people and defies divine order by founding the city of Babel. This city, located on the plain of Shinar, becomes a landmark in history, defying not only orderly dispersal, but also becoming the embryo of the future grandeur known as Babylon. The city, with its challenging roots, marks the beginning of a journey that would change not just the region, but the entire history of Mesopotamia. Nimrod, through his boldness, leaves a legacy that transcends time, founding not only a city, but paving the way for one of the greatest civilizations humanity would witness. In the essence of human ambition that gave life to the Tower of Babel. The goal, grand and challenging, was a bold attempt to unite humanity, a tower that would transcend physical and linguistic barriers. At the heart of this endeavor was the aspiration to avoid the God-ordained dispersion after the flood. The people, united by a common language, sought to build not just a physical tower, but a celestial bridge that would unite earth with the divine. The Tower of Babel, seen by some as a beacon of unity, paradoxically reveals a rebellion against heavenly orders. Unbridled ambition exceeded initial expectations, transforming the tower into a symbol not only of physical construction, but of direct defiance of divine will. Reaching the heavens, the tower would become a beacon of human unity, a testament to the collective capacity to transcend limits. However, what unfolded was a surprising turn of events, where the desired grandeur quickly turned into a challenge to divine designs. The culmination of construction, the culmination of human ambition, is marked by divine intervention. God, looking down, witnesses the audacity of the Tower of Babel and decides to act. Divine dissatisfaction is the prelude to an unexpected turn of events. Then the Lord came down to see the city and the tower that the sons of men were building. And the Lord said, "Behold, the people are one, and they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. And now, there will be no restriction on everything they intend to do. Hey, let's go down and confuse their language there, so that they don't understand each other's language." So the Lord scattered them from there over the face of the whole earth, and they stopped building the city. Therefore its name was called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of the whole earth, and from there the Lord scattered them over the face of the whole earth. Genesis 11 verses 5 to 9. As the architect of the universe, God decides to confuse the languages of humanity. What was once a unifying language becomes a cacophony of disconnected sounds. Communication, an essential link between people, breaks down, transforming into a tangle of words with no shared meaning. The confusion of tongues is not just a punishment, it is a redefinition of the boundaries of communication. The construction that aimed to touch the heavens finds itself immersed in linguistic disharmony. People, unable to understand each other, see their grandiose project unraveling before their eyes. The Tower of Babel, symbol of unity and defiance, is silenced not by physical force, but by the breakdown of mutual understanding. Dispersion begins not only physically, but also linguistically. Groups isolate themselves from each other, taking their unique languages with them as markers of identity. It is a pivotal moment in mythological history and, by extension, in understanding human nature. Divine intervention not only interrupts the material construction of the tower, but lays the foundation for the fragmentation of humanity, forcing it to spread to the ends of the earth. The Tower of Babel, once erected to defy limits, becomes an unfinished monument, silent witness to the divine intervention that shaped the course of history. The expression Tower of Babel, despite not being explicitly mentioned in the Old Testament, reveals a wealth of meanings that transcend the mere physical construction. By analyzing its roots, we uncover layers of symbolism that give depth to the story told. The word tower suggests more than a simple vertical structure. It carries with it the meaning of watchtower, a place of observation, of attention to celestial things. The Tower of Babel's ambition, therefore, was not just physical, it was an attempt to reach the divine, to establish a direct connection with the heavens. On the other hand, Babel has an intriguing etymology. If we interpret it as Babel, the word can be translated as Gate of God. Here, the tower is not just a building, it is a portal, an access point to the divine domains. Associated with a place of divine judgment, the Tower of Babel becomes a stage where humanity defied not only physical laws, but also heavenly laws. The combination of these meanings resonates like a cosmic parable, where human ambition, in trying to build a tower that would reach the heavens, becomes a challenge to the gods. It is as if the structure itself carries in its name the duality between the search for divinity and the attempt to defy the divine will. Thus, the Tower of Babel transcends the limitations of an isolated narrative. It becomes a symbol of the human aspiration for the divine, the search for understanding and meaning. The expression Tower of Babel goes beyond a physical construction. It is an invitation to reflect on the limits of human ambition and the complexity of the narratives that shape our understanding of the world. Archaeological discoveries shed light on the possibility that the Tower of Babel is not just a literary creation, but a narrative that has roots in earth and clay. As we explore the vast plains of Mesopotamia, we come across ziggurats, majestic structures that closely echo the description of the Tower of Babel in the Bible. These monumental constructions, like the ziggurat of Eridu, stand as silent witnesses to an ancient era, suggesting that the ambition to reach the heavens was not just a fantasy, but a tangible quest. Ziggurats, with their rising terraces and cosmological functions, are rooted in Mesopotamian culture, suggesting that the monumental construction of the Tower of Babel may have been inspired by these grand structures. The connection between the story of Genesis 11 and archaeology adds layers of fascination to the narrative, transforming the Tower of Babel from a mythical story to a concrete possibility. Thus, Babel, initially defiant and disobedient, transforms into the famous Babylon, a power that would echo through the centuries, marking the annals of history with its greatness and defying the divine narrative of dispersion with its own narrative of grandeur and power. Every brick that makes up these structures tells a story of an ambition that rose above the ground and defied the heavens. Ziggurats not only served as places of worship, but also as witnesses to a time when tower building was an expression of power and the quest for divinity. As we explore archaeological excavations and contemplate the grandeur of the ziggurats, we are prompted to consider whether these ancient structures could be the tangible remains of the Tower of Babel. The biblical narrative, which for centuries was interpreted as a myth, finds resonance in the layers of earth that hold the secrets of antiquity, adding a palpable dimension to the story that previously inhabited only the sacred pages. And so, we conclude our fascinating journey through the Tower of Babel, a story that transcends the barriers of time and challenges the boundaries between history and legend. What began as a biblical narrative, intertwined with founding myths, turned out to be a complex web of events that shaped humanity's trajectory on Earth. Whether we consider the Tower of Babel as a literary myth or a tangible construction, its story echoes through the centuries, reminding us of the intricate dance between human ambition and divine forces. The quest to touch the heavens, whether in the form of stacked bricks or in the construction of grandiose narratives, remains a constant in our journey as human beings. As we contemplate the ruins of ziggurats, archaeological discoveries, and mystical interpretations, we are invited to reflect on the complexity of our own existence. The Tower of Babel, whether a construction of clay and stone or a metaphor for human ambitions, continues to intrigue us, challenging us to explore the limits of knowledge and uncover the mysteries that shape our understanding of the world. So we end this journey with the Tower of Babel standing like a beacon in the vastness of time, a story that resonates like a distant echo, reminding us that even in the face of uncertainty, our search for understanding and meaning continues to build the foundations from our own tower, where myth and reality intertwine in an eternal dance. If you enjoyed this historical exploration, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave your comments. Together, we continue to uncover the secrets of the past. Until the next journey.